Do you ever find yourself stuck in that phase of the conversation, unsure of how to react in a conversation or a meeting? Well, you're not alone. Most of us have been there, frozen between, ooh, should I say something? And what if I say the wrong thing? But here's the truth. That tiny pause, that little can make you sound uncertain, even when you're not. You see, your reactions tell people more than your words. They show whether you're confident, curious, or completely checked out. And mastering your reactions, well, that's kind of like tying this bow tie. It takes a bit of attention, especially at first, but once you know how, it becomes like second nature. So here's a quick tip. When you feel that coming along, pause just for a second, just long enough to smile or nod or say something short like, I see, or that's interesting. That way you keep the conversation moving and it shows that you're still engaged. You don't have to know exactly what to say, just use that little extra phrase, that extra reaction to show that you're still with it. And if this tip helps you sound more natural, hit that like button and subscribe for more quick tips like this, and stick around for the end of today's show, the Mastery Minute. I'll be showing you an idiom that fits right with this. And also, if you've got any questions, drop them in the chat. I'd love to answer them for you live at the end of the show. And all right, so the tie is looking good, so let's get into it, huh? So let me tell you about Jay. Jay is an engineer from Taiwan, very bright guy, and he would join his meetings with his global team every week. So he was a really good engineer, smart guy, great ideas, but every time someone asked him for his opinion, he hesitated. He'd pause and try to look thoughtful and say, yes, I think maybe, before finally slowly getting to his point. Well, by the time he spoke, all of the energy has already left the room. People had already moved on to other topics. So we worked together, and I told him, look, Jay, it's not your English, it's your reaction time. So we worked on replacing with some short, natural reactions, like, that's interesting, or good point, or even a quick, yeah, I see what you mean. And within weeks, he started sounding sharper and more confident, and people started asking him for feedback. And that's the power of mastering your reactions. So let's talk about why isn't helping you and what to do instead. When native speakers react, they use short emotional cues that keep the conversation alive. These little reactions show that they're engaged and they're not hesitant, and they're quick little signals that say, I'm listening, I understand, or tell me more. Think of them like the heartbeat of a conversation. They're short, natural, and full of energy. Without them, your speech can sound flat or distant, but with them, you'll sound confident, warm, and connected. Now, here's the secret. Fluent speakers, like native speakers, they don't wait until they know exactly what to say. They start with a reaction that buys them a second to think while keeping the rhythm of the conversation going. So, tonight I'm going to go through 3 easy steps to show you how to upgrade your reactions. So, we'll start with step 1. Always start with step one, right? Hmm. The sound can actually mean many things. Could mean you're thinking. Could mean you're unsure. Or you're buying time. But in English conversation, silence or often signals doubt or disinterest. And native speakers rarely say unless they're actually disagreeing or puzzled. Okay? So when you use it too often, people might think that you're unsure or you're not following along, or worse, that you're disagreeing with them. And nobody likes somebody who's too disagreeable, right? So instead of start practicing some clear reactions. It keeps you in the flow of conversation and shows that you're listening. So let me give you a few examples of what I'm talking about. Instead of say, yeah, I get that. Or instead of maybe say, that could work. Instead of or silence, say, that's an interesting point. You see, these are very simple things to say that keep the conversation flowing and keep you from sounding like you're not interested in the conversation. All right? So ditch that And here's a pro tip. You can practice this by recording yourself in little short mock conversations. And then every time you hear yourself say, replace it with one of these natural reactions. You'll be amazed at how much more confident you sound. You can, and where can you get these little mock conversations? I write articles every day on my website, allaboutenglishmastery.com. All the articles are great for practicing your speaking, but at the end of every article is a series of questions. They're designed to make you think and come up with your own answers. So react to those. All right? Now, I want to also point out that native speakers react quickly and emotionally, not perfectly. The reactions that native speakers have, they show tone, not grammar. And here's something that many learners forget. Your face and your body play just as big a role. A nod or a raised eyebrow or a warm smile, they can communicate interest faster than words can. And if you combine these gestures with your spoken actions, lean in slightly when you're curious, keep your eye contact, and let your expression on your face match your tone, the tone of your voice. All right, let's combine a few of these, and I'll share some reactions that you can start using today. Positive reactions and negative reactions and things like that. So here's some positive reactions. You might say, that's great. See how I added my facial expression to it? How about exactly? You're agreeing with someone. Or you can just say, I totally agree. That makes sense. Or, oh, that's smart. See, you change the tone and you're showing positive comments and reactions. Now let's cover some curious or thoughtful reactions. You might say, really? I didn't know that. Showing that you're really surprised about something and you're interested to know more. You can also say, that's interesting. Tell me more. This invites deeper conversation. Ask a question like, how did that happen? This also shows that you're curious. You want to know more. How did that happen? See how I tilt my head? Now, notice I have here. But we're not just saying, We're saying, in a curious way, like, I hadn't thought about it that way before. This shows that you're being considerate. Note that the actually does work in this case, okay? Now, we also have neutral or reflective reactions. You might say, I see what you mean. Or, I got it. Or, well, that makes sense. Or, right. Yeah, just say right. So basically, now we're inviting them to give us more information. Or you're going to say, so basically, you're going to repeat the idea back to them. This is what's called active listening. And remember, the goal is not to sound perfect here. The goal is to sound engaged with the conversation. Reactions are emotional signals. They're not test answers. Now, why is it so important to have emotional signals? Well, that's because we need to have a way to match the tone that you're using to the moment that you're in. Remember, reactions are not just about words. They're about the tone and the timing and the body language too. So imagine you're talking with a friend. If they tell you they just got a promotion, and then you just nod and slightly mutter, interesting. That feels a little bit cold, doesn't it? But if they tell you they got the promotion, and then your eyes light up, oh, and then you lean forward a little bit and say, that's awesome. Now you feel like you're in a genuine moment. You're genuinely connecting. That's the power of matching the tone. Facial expressions and the gestures that you use reinforce your message more than just words. So, a warm smile shows agreement. A raised eyebrow shows curiosity. And a sympathetic tilt of the head shows empathy. So these small physical cues tie perfectly into your words and make your English connection feel more alive. So let's do a quick guide to match the moment, right? If you've got good news, then use energy, smile, raise your eyebrows. Wow, that's great. Or congratulations, or congrats. But what if you have bad news? Well, you want to show empathy. So relax your face, maybe bring your eyebrows down, nod, and say, oh no, I'm so sorry. Lower your voice tone. I'm sorry to hear that. See the difference? What about surprising info? Well, if you've got surprising info, show curiosity. Lean in. Tilt your head, maybe. Keep the eye contact. Say something like, really? Okay? Lean in and widen your eyes, right? Wait, seriously? Ask a question. Are you serious? Okay. And finally, if you've got some kind of a complex topic that you're interested in, you want to show that you're interested. Again, keep the eye contact, tilt your head, ask questions, raise your eyebrow. That's an interesting way to look at it. These small emotional and physical cues will make you sound more human. They'll also make you sound more fluent. It's not about vocabulary. This builds your confidence, so you don't need to worry about trying to think of fancy vocabulary words. They show that you're not that you understand and that you feel the conversation. And now we got to move along. I just realized what time it is. I'm talking too much. So let's do a little mini practice. The next time you're chatting with a friend or watching a show, pay attention to both the words and the body language. Take note of the patterns of how native speakers use their expressions and gestures to match their reactions. And then write down 3 short responses that you like and practice saying them out loud. And mirror them in the mirror or by yourself, Get those facial expressions the same to make it look natural. All right? And remember, you don't have to speak fast to sound fluent. Fluency comes from flow, not speed. When you respond naturally, you're showing that you're present and confident and connected. Every time you replace with a real reaction, you're building conversational muscle and you're connecting. So here's your challenge for this week. Record a short voice note or video of yourself reacting to a story or a news clip. Try to avoid saying even once. And then use the reaction phrases that we talked about earlier to see how much different you sound when you listen back. Trust me, you're going to notice that you sound sharper and more confident. And if you want to go deeper, check out my course, Mastering English for Busy Professionals. It's at allaboutenglishmastery.com. You can build real fluency in just 10 minutes a day. And yes, you can find the link for that and the blog for this section in the description and in the chat. Now, finally, it's time for the Mastery Minute, the best minute of the show. And the phrase of the day is think on your feet. And here's a quick one for you. Did you know that this phrase started in the boxing ring and at the public speaking stage? Yes, in both situations, you literally had to stay standing and alert and quick on your feet, or you would lose your audience or your boxing match. Nobody wants that, right? So when we say someone can think on their feet, we mean they can react fast and with confidence, even when the unexpected happens. It actually reminds me of back in the 80s, President Ronald Reagan was giving a speech after he recovered from being shot. A loud balloon popped in the hall, and without missing a beat, he smiled and quipped, "You miss me," and the whole crowd burst out in laughter. That's quick wit and composure in action. That's a perfect example of thinking on your feet. So it's a skill that every fluent speaker needs. So if you ever are in a situation where you're caught off guard, smile, pause, and respond. That's how you show composure under pressure. And if this helped you, give it a like, hit the subscribe, and share it with a friend who wants to level up their English. All right, and that's it, all the time we have for today. Today we tackled how to ditch and react with confidence, because every great conversation requires great reactions. Next time, we're going to talk about some sometimes funny and always fun differences between British and American idioms. And y'all know how much I love idioms. So if you ever wondered why Americans say break a leg and the British say fancy a cuppa, we'll dig into how these colorful phrases and expressions evolved and what they reveal about culture and communication across the Atlantic. And until then, keep your bow tie straight, keep your words sharp, and your confidence steady. I'm Dennis Wilborn. This has been 15 Minute Mastery, and I'll see you next time.